We're taking our talents to the ice for last night. Samuel Girard tied for the highest scoring fantasy player on the slate. That's in Colorado's overtime win against the Blues, cutting it close. Second period goal. That was his first since January 26th. The Lightning crushed the Panthers in the other game one last night. We got two more tonight. Hurricanes, Rangers, plus the Oilers and Flames. So let's get after it. RotoWire's AJ Scholz and Paul Bruno. Bruno, by the way, making his first appearance since his Maple Leafs dropped another Game 7. Welcome back, Paul. It's good to know that you are still alive.
Thank you.
So I'm going to allow you to go first here because I know you're well rested. Give me your favorite DFS play in this Rangers-Hurricanes game.
Well, look, despite the fact that Carolina's at home tonight, the four most expensive skaters in DFS on DraftKings tonight will be representing the visiting Rangers. That should tell us all something, and I'm on side there. I'll ride with the top two New York guys in this one. Zibanejad has 13 points and 33 shots on goal in his last 10 starts, and his line mate Chris Kreider has 6 goals and 10 points, along with 38 shots on goal. So both these guys finding the range with regularity, and you get them on the cheap side. So I think it's a great opportunity. You're going to be stacking players in a small slate, so I start with these guys. Don't mess around. Go to the top of the ladder on the Rangers side for $6,800 and $6,700 respectively.
All right, hook me up, AJ.
I mean, I'm exactly with Paul on these two guys. I think Zibanejad tied for second in postseason points with 11. That includes 4 with the man advantage. And to double him down with Chris Kreider, you're really not paying that much compared to, say, stacking Edmonton's top duo. If you want somebody else that's not one of those guys, Vinnie Trojak comes in at 3,600, pretty discounted there. He's been a little quiet of late, but I think he's in a good position to produce. But I generally am with Paul. I'm using the Rangers tonight.
Guys, last time the Flames and Oilers faced one another in the playoffs, that was all the way back in 1991. Who is your favorite DFS play in the Battle of Alberta, AJ?
Honestly, I think my favorite play in this one is Jacob Markstrom, the netminder for 8,300. You got to pick a goalie somewhere for these, unless you're just going to stick to the showdowns. I'm not confident in Mike Smith. I think Antti Raanta could fall apart at any moment. And while Shesterkin looks like he's put those 2 games behind him, let's not forget he got pulled twice while facing the Penguins. So Markstrom's been the steadiest of these 4. His numbers have been really, really good against Dallas. And honestly, his drafted percentage could be down. I think people might be afraid to use him against McDavid and Draisaitl. And I think that'll serve you well. So for me in this game, Jacob Markstrom is my guy.
Yeah, it's just going to be a battle of goaltenders here, Paul.
No, I don't think so. Mike Smith's playing way over his head in these playoffs, and there's just too big a disparity here. I'm on the Calgary side as well. In terms of the key DFS guy in this matchup, though, I look to Matthew Tkachuk. He's the emotional leader of the Flames and their top line right winger as well. He's had an outstanding season, and yet here's a price tag at $5,900. Might be his lowest of the season. I can't believe how low it is. He and his mates will want to set the physical tone here in this one and impose their grinding physical style. That's home base for Tkachuk. So I think he rides that wave and the emotion of this game at home, and it gives the club a big dose of leadership tonight and shows up well in the score sheet as well.
Hey, Paul, hook me up with a value skater between the 2 games.
I'm going to give you one from each side, Emerson. And Zach Hyman will thrive with the intensity and physicality of this series, too. Don't make any mistake about that. The Oilers can respond anytime anybody wants to play it physical, and Zach Hyman will be right there. He'll be playing top 6 minutes and be featured on the Oilers' top power play, and only cost $4,500. That's a cheap value for a guy who's pouring in almost 4 shots on goal in his last 10 games played. And I like the call that AJ made on Vinnie Trojak. He's my value play for Carolina tonight. On his center line role on the second unit, 4 goals and 10 points in his last 10 starts. What a nice opportunity for him to build on those totals. Flanked by Game 7 hero Max Domi and prolific point producer Toivo Teravainen, who has played a lot of top-line minutes for the club on the year. They've shuffled things around, and Trojak should really benefit from working with both these guys on the second line, costing, as AJ said, only $3,600.
AJ, save us some cash, but give us production.
Well, I don't know how productive he'll be, but he's at least got a chance to do it. And that's Kayla Yamamoto, comes in at 2,500. He's not getting any cheaper than that. But you're going to play right wing with McDavid and Draisaitl. Like, I think I could grab a point. My grandmother could probably grab a point playing with these 2 guys. So I think he's just in too good of a spot to pass up on him. But he has been really quiet, just 1 assist in the last 6 games of that previous series with the Kings. If you want a little bit more certainty, I would look at Frank Vetrano for 4,400. Similar spot. He's going to play with Kreider and Zibanejad on that top line, but he's been a little bit more productive than Yamamoto. But 2,500, that's so hard to avoid putting that guy in.
AJ, let's end the segment here with a sports betting look at the slate. So which bet makes the most sense on between tonight's 2 playoff games? Game 1 here between Edmonton and Calgary. Oilers are the underdog here in a playoff game for the first time since 2017.
Well, for me, I think you just keep it simple and take the Rangers on the money line. It's plus 150. They have a seriously good chance of winning this game, especially if Shesterkin is really back after those tough outings. I mean, he could blank Carolina, and then his offense doesn't need to do much more than that. I'll pair it up personally with Chris Kreider to score a goal at plus 145 here. It's the best odds in that game, but still really good value. And if you are looking for a long shot sprinkle, I don't hate Calgary to win in a shutout at plus 900. Markstrom's the best goalie to have a chance to do it tonight. And I think it's worth at least considering for that sprinkle there.
All right, Paul, talk to me about your bet tonight.
I love the call on the Rangers at plus 150. I'm right there with you, AJ. And then I'll take the look at the other game. I'm taking Calgary minus 1.5 on the puck line for a plus 150 payoff. That looks like a pretty easy one to win tonight. I think the home side prevails there.